The boardroom air is thick with the smell of old coffee and new ambition. I am arranging water glasses, my apron crisp and white, a piece of the furniture. My job is to be silent, to be invisible. At the head of the table, Mr. Sterling holds court, his voice a smooth, expensive instrument. He's talking about quarterly projections, about trimming the fat. His eyes sweep the room, landing for a cold second on me as I refill his cup. He doesn't see me. He sees an obstacle, a cost, then his phone buzzes. His face, all sharp angles and calculated charm, darkens. He listens, his knuckles whitening round his pen. The room holds its breath. He hangs up, and the silence is a physical thing, heavy and dangerous. He needs an outlet. His gaze finds me again, hovering by the door. "Alara," he says, and my name in his mouth sounds like a mistake. Everyone looks. This water, it's room temperature. Are we savages? A tight, humorless smile. Or is that simply the standard you're accustomed to? A faint, nervous titter from his sycophants. Heat floods my cheeks. I am not a person here. I am a prop for his dominance. I nod, mutter an apology, reach for the pitcher. My hands are trembling. As I lean in, the delicate silver chain I always wear slips from under my blouse. At its end, a small, worn charm, a hand carved from river stone, the fingers curled in a specific, graceful shape. Sterling's eyes lock onto it. His smirk deepens. What is that? Some kind of tribal thing? He leans back, addressing the room. You have to admire the simplicity. Superstition as jewelry. My grandmother left me a Swiss timepiece. I suppose we all inherit what we deserve. The laughter is louder now, complicit. I fumble the charm back under my fabric, my vision blurring. But as I do, my own hand moves instinctively, tracing a shape against my thigh. A press of thumb to palm, a slow circle with two fingers. My grandmother's silent language. A gesture she'd make when the world was too loud, too cruel. Patience, it means. The root grows deep beneath the storm. I finish pouring the ice water, my movements deliberate, quiet. Sterling watches me with the cool interest of a man examining a bug. He thinks he's won. He thinks he's revealed my core as something small and primitive. He has no idea what he's just truly seen, or what I've seen in him. Because as he humiliated me, his own hands betrayed him. While his voice was cutting, his left hand, hidden below the polished table, was compulsively rubbing his thumb and forefinger together over and over. A frantic, pulsing motion, a gesture I recognize from my grandmother's lexicon. It doesn't mean patience, it means debt. A debt so large it feels like a noose. And as I turn to leave, he delivers the final blow, his voice dropping to a confidential, venomous pitch meant only for my ears. Clean yourself up, Alara. You're embarrassing the brand. The door closes behind me. I stand in the sterile hallway, the glass pitcher cold in my hands. The silence is no longer oppressive. It is charged. He thinks the humiliation is over. It has only just begun. The following weeks are a study in pressure. Sterling's cruelty becomes procedural. My hours are adjusted to the most grueling shifts. Mistakes I didn't make appear on my performance logs. A beloved regular complains I was rude. I've never served her. The message is clear. I am being erased, piece by bureaucratic piece. I endure. I polish silver until it mirrors the sterile, heartless light of the kitchen. I fold napkins into perfect, sharp crests. And I watch. I have become a student of hands. The CFO, a woman with a steely gaze, drums a frantic, irregular rhythm on the table during budget talks. Fear of exposure, the young intern, always eager, twists his ring when Sterling speaks. Regret, complicity. The head of HR, nodding along, methodically pinches the skin between her own thumb and forefinger. Shame. They are all speaking to me, screaming without a sound. Their deepest secrets, their private fears, leaking out in a language only I can understand. Sterling's gesture is constant, the rubbing of debt, but it's gained a companion. When he fires a longtime employee over a triviality, his right hand makes a sharp, slicing motion against his leg, cutting ties, covering tracks. I am a vault filling with silent confessions. I start to document, not with a phone that would be seen, but with the old, foolscap method my grandmother used for her recipes. In a small notebook covered in flour dust, I make notations. Dates, times, people, gestures. A silent ledger of guilt. The breaking point comes on a Friday. The restaurant is hosting a high-stakes investor dinner. The air buzzes with potential money. I am assigned to serve, the ultimate test of my invisibility. Sterling is magnificent, weaving tales of growth and innovation. He's closing the deal. I can see it in the investor's approving nods. Then, during the main course, he snaps his fingers at me. Not a glance, just a snap in the air, like summoning a dog. More wine here. Something in me, something grown from my grandmother's deep roots, goes very still. As I approach, the investor, a jovial man with a loud laugh, makes a joke at the expense of the waiting staff. Sterling throws his head back and laughs, a rich, convincing sound. But under the table, his hand moves, not the debt gesture. Something new. A closed fist, the knuckle of the index finger digging hard, rotating into his own thigh. A gesture of self-disgust so profound, so violent, it's a silent scream. He hates himself for laughing. He hates the man he's becoming to keep this facade alive. In this moment of triumph, he is utterly bankrupt. I pour the wine. My hand does not shake. I look at Sterling, and for the first time, I do not look away. Our eyes meet. He sees no fear. He sees recognition. And in that flicker, he knows. He knows I see him. His smile doesn't fade, but it becomes a gash across his face. The dinner concludes. The investors leave, clapping him on the back. He waits until the last door closes. Then he turns to me, the empty dining room a stage for his final act. My office, now. His voice is quiet, deadly. We're terminating your contract for insubordination. You'll clear out your locker and be escorted from the premises. He stands over his desk, already drafting my dismissal. This is the irreversible act, the public line, crossed in private. He expects tears, pleading. Instead, I reach into the pocket of my apron. Not for a phone. I place my flour-dusted notebook softly on his immaculate desk. Before you do that, I say, my voice calm, clearer than it's ever been, you should know. I speak another language. The termination never comes. What comes, 2 days later, is a pair of serious-faced individuals in dark suits. They do not work for the restaurant. They are from the Securities and Exchange Commission. They ask for Mr. Sterling. They are polite, utterly immovable. The office, once his fortress, becomes a glass box. We all watch from the open kitchen, from the service stations. Sterling's charm is useless. His bluster evaporates. They sit him down and they ask simple, devastating questions. They present documents. They trace numbers. The rumor, swift and electric, races through the staff, cookbooks, hidden losses, a scheme to inflate the company's value before a sale. The investors from that Friday night are livid, threatening lawsuits. Sterling is suspended. Then he is simply gone. His nameplate removed, his office emptied by strangers. In the ensuing quiet, the CEO visits. A tired-looking man I've only ever seen in portraits in the lobby. He asks to speak with me. We sit in a quiet corner. The investigators, he says, choosing his words with care, mentioned an anonymous tip, a detailed log of behavioral inconsistencies. It helped them know where to look. He studies me. The notes were unusual. They described physical tics, gestures, not just numbers. I say nothing. I just listen to the hum of the refrigerator, a new, steady sound. Sterling, the CEO, continues, his own hands resting still and open on the table. Always said you were observant. He thought it was a weakness. He pauses. I'm reinstating everyone he forced out, with full back pay, and we're reviewing every policy he touched. He offers me a new position, if I want it. A vague, better title. I thank him. I say I'll think about it. The real victory isn't the job. It's the quiet that returns. It's the intern finding me later, his eyes red-rimmed, whispering, thank you for not saying what you must have seen about me. It's the CFO giving me a single, firm nod of respect as she passes. The head of HR finally meeting my gaze, her own clear with unspoken relief. The system worked, not because it is perfect, but because truth, once spoken even silently, has a weight that eventually topples false structures. I walk out of the building at the end of my shift. The same employee entrance I've always used. I touched the river stone charm at my throat. My grandmother didn't teach me a weapon. She taught me a language of truth, a language people speak when their words are lies. In a world that screams, the most powerful thing is sometimes to understand the silence beneath it. So hear this. Look past the words people throw at you. Look at their hands. Look at the spaces between their sentences. The truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a tremor in a fingertip, a gesture of shame in a boardroom, a silent plea for help in a crowded room. Learn to listen for it, because everyone, from the man in the corner office to the person pouring your coffee, is telling you their deepest secret. All you have to do is know how to see it.